Good luck, everybody. This is the weekly Mesilas Yesharim Shir, Path of the Just. So we are on chapter 9, which is, in this version, which we use, page 146, this version. And we're on the second step of our ladder to acquire the traits that are needed for a Jew to be perfect in his service of God. And we're on the second trait, which is zrizus, alacrity, running to perform mitzvahs and to always trying to find mitzvah opportunities and to finish mitzvahs after we start them, and to always want to do Ratzon Hashem, to run to do the will of God, basically. And we've talked about every chapter, if you've noticed, every time we get to a new trait, has a certain structure. First, we talk about the trait in general. We talk about the different parts of it. Then we talk about how to acquire it. And then we talk about what could detract one from gaining this trait. So that's where we're at now. We're at chapter 9, which is Beveir Mafside Hazrizus V'Harchaka Mehem. The things that detract from Zrizus. What causes a person to not be alacritous, not be zealous in performance of mitzvahs? So let's start. Hine. Mafside Hazrizus Hein Heim Magdile Hatzala. The things which detract from zrizus, alacrity, are those things which cause a person to be lazy. V'hagadol shebekulam hu ba'kashas hamanucha hagufanis v'sinas hatareach v'avas ha'idunim betashlum kol t'na'ehem. The biggest one of these is wanting relaxation, physical relaxation, hating work, loving pleasures, in all of their aspects. Kihine. Adam kazeh, vade shetichbar alav ha'avoda lifnei baro kovid gadol. A person like this, for sure, it'll be very hard for him, be very difficult to serve Hashem. Kimishi yirtze la'echol achilasav bechol ha'yishuv ha'manucha. Somebody who wants to eat, all of his entire meal with menucha when he's relaxed and sitting, felishon shnaso below tored, and to sleep all that he wants without any thing that would wake him from his sleep, and he won't get up unless he feels that he has his fill. Similar things to this. It'll be very hard for him to go to synagogue in the morning. Or to cut his meal short to daven mincha, ben arbayim. Or to go out for a mitzvah if it's not clear. All the more so to run, to do a mitzvah, and to learn Torah. So a person who loves physical pleasures, loves relaxing, taking it easy, and those types of people, it's very difficult to acquire the midah of zrizus, of alacrity, to run and serving Hashem. Rav Matisyahu Salomon points out it's not only that the person loves relaxation, but he makes it has to do with his outlook on life. His outlook on life is that the goal of everything is just to relax. The goal of working is the weekend, right? That song, was it Everybody's Working for the Weekend? So those types of people, they have a very hard time when it comes to zrizus, because we're allowed to enjoy eating, sleeping. That's normal. We're human beings. God doesn't expect us to desist from it, but when these things become a goal in and of itself, that's a problem. When we have fancy restaurants where people spend a ton of money for the most fancy foods, and you make that your goal, you're just thinking, oh, I'm going to try this restaurant, go to that restaurant, I'm going to go to vacation here and go to vacation there. That's all you could think about, is what restaurant you're going to go to, what vacation you're going to go on, and that becomes a goal in life in and of itself. Then that's a problem. That's what he's talking about here, that when a person has that as his mindset in life, it becomes very, very difficult to acquire the midah of zrizus. Also, and he says, right, he gives the examples that you want to sleep, and your goal in life is to relax, so you're sleeping. You're not going to get up early to cut your sleep short if you have to make a minyan in synagogue. Or if you're eating, right? If eating is the whole thing in life and that's your whole purpose, you're not going to cut short your dinner meal if you see that the time of mincha is about to pass and you have to go pray. You're for sure not going to cut it short. And he says all the more so that you're not only are you going to, if you're going to neglect the mitzvahs totally, you're for sure not going to run to the synagogue and you're not going to run to do mitzvahs, and we're also not going to run to study Torah. Umisha margil atzmo leminhagos ha'ela, somebody who is accustomed like this, where his whole purpose in life is the pleasures and relaxation. Einenu adon ba'atzmo, he is not a master of himself. La'asos hefech zeh kishirtze, to do the opposite when he wants. Kikfar nesar ritzon b'maser hahergel hanasa tevasheni. It becomes like second nature. It's interesting. He says, you're not free. Somebody who makes the goal in life his physical pleasures, the vacations, the food, the sleeping, he's not free. Once in a while, he's going to want to overcome that desire and to serve Hashem, to get involved in the spiritual. But he says, since he has accustomed himself to that way of life, it becomes like second nature, and he's actually imprisoned by this way of life which he has created for himself. Now, also what we're saying, this doesn't mean, just to reiterate, that you're not supposed to enjoy good food. Everything's supposed to be a balance. You're supposed to have enjoy food and your people are supposed to relax for the but the idea is that that's not the ultimate goal in life. That's not your purpose of existence. Why we right now we're between Pesach and Shavuos. It's 49 days between Pesach and Shavuos, and the Mishnah says there are 48 kinyanim, things that you need to do to acquire Torah. And people used to learn them, these 48 things, on the 49 days of Sfira, from Passover to Shavuos. Each of the days they would take another one of these kinyanim, another one of these traits, and work on it. And on the 49th day, they would work on all of them. So if you look, the Vilna Gaon, he puts them into three groups. And one of the groups that he has is Histapkus B'muah. To be successful in Torah, you have to limit the amount of physical pleasure you have. For instance, and other things. For instance, to be successful in Torah learning, you have to limit the amount of business you do. You have to limit the amount of food you do, limit the amount of pleasure. And if you notice, he doesn't say that you have to stop doing business, stop having pleasure. It's supposed to be limited. It's supposed to be a mute. So that's the idea, right? I think I mentioned this before, but somebody said Judaism is a very sober religion because we realize that we live in a physical world. So Hashem doesn't command us to totally have nothing to do with the physical world, like a monk or something, but it's to limit it. We have to limit our contact with the physical world, and our goals, our ideology shouldn't be for success in the physical world. Our goal in life shouldn't be to make a lot of money so that we can buy a yacht and go on vacation all the time and just enjoy ourselves. We all need to enjoy ourselves, and that's very, very important to do that so you can be normal people, but to make it a goal in life, that is a big problem. Okay, let's continue. Va'amnam. A person has to know that he was not created for relaxation in this world. That's not the goal in this world, is to relax. We were created to work. He says you have to serve Hashem in this world, and we have to view ourselves like we're day laborers. Like they say, we are day laborers. We have to view ourselves like soldiers. Soldiers are always ready for battle. They eat quickly, and they don't always have a set place to sleep. And they're always ready to go. And that's what it says in the verse. A person was created to work. Ki adam la'amal yulad. Now, it's interesting, he says it's like a day laborer. The reason is, they point out on the bottom, a day laborer, there's a few types of workers. One worker is you hire him to do a job. You hire him to build a house. So there's no time limit. He builds a house. He could do it however long it takes, assuming you don't have a time limit on the contract. But a day laborer is you're plowing the guy's field for a day. You're not allowed to take a break without his permission because you're stealing from him. If you don't work as hard as you can, in that time, then you are stealing. Actually, no, I know a rabbi who was officiating at a wedding, and one of the witnesses, he was paid by the hour and used to leave his job early. So the rabbi wouldn't let him be a witness because he said he's a thief. So it's very serious. Take these laws very seriously. But he says that we all have to view ourselves in service of Hashem, that we are day laborers, in the sense that we can't desist from our work because we were created to work. When a person accustoms himself on this way of thinking, work becomes a lot easier. The rabbi said, this is the way of Torah, bread, eating salt with bread, umayim mishura tishta, having with water, a little bit of water, v'ala arts tishan, and sleeping on the ground, shehu klal harchaka betachlis min hamenucha v'yidunim. And this is a concept in distancing ourselves from pleasure and relaxation. That if a person has to, right, if you have this mindset that my goal in life is to serve Hashem, and that's what I'm here for. I remember like when we were in yeshiva, we were just there to serve Hashem and learn Torah. So when that is your mindset, that's just what you're trying to do. You want to be successful in Torah learning, and even though you might not get the best food, and you might not have the most comfortable bed, since your mindset is to be successful in Torah and serving Hashem, these things don't bother you. But if your mindset is to have pleasures and to have you have to have your Starbucks coffee with the 15 flavors in it, and if you don't have that, your whole day is messed up, and you have to go to the fancy restaurant, and the whole week you're just looking forward to going to the beach and going to a restaurant. If that is your ideology, then it becomes very, very hard to want to do mitzvahs and to want to serve Hashem. So this is just the first thing we mentioned, the first idea of mafsidei hazrizus, the thing that take away from zrizus. It's really two parts of it. One is the ideology of just wanting to live life for physical pleasures and relaxation, and two is being too consumed in physical pleasures and relaxation. I think it's more than just the ideology. If you're just, everything is too comfortable for you, and it's too, you're constantly having the finest foods and the fanciest vacations, then it becomes very, very difficult to serve Hashem, right? We know Rebbe Yehuda Hanassi was one of the richest people of his time. And even though he was very rich, he didn't benefit in that sense, and that his whole goal wasn't for relaxation and wealth, but to learn Torah, and he's one of the greatest rabbis of all time. It all has to do with a mindset, right? This isn't like a knock on people who have nice things. There's nothing wrong with having nice things, but it's all a mindset, and it's all not getting too shakua, too overly taken over by the physical, and not being too engaged in physical pleasures. Because if that's all you're living for, right, like he said, when it's the time to go daven with a minyan, you're not going to want to get up, you're not going to want to shorten your meal, but it all has to do little by little to detach ourselves. In America, I just think, I can imagine if the Ramchal saw the United States, that, we probably are all guilty of living too much for pleasure and being a little too comfortable, and we all are, and nevertheless we still, complain, but we live, thank God, in very comfortable times in general. But the idea, and it's a benefit, because if you lose those comfortable things, right? I know I'm friendly with people who are very poor, and they're able to be successful in scenarios where other people can't, because they're not, other people aren't used to living in those situations where it's very difficult. So there is that advantage that if you grew up that way, where you weren't given everything, then you work hard, even though everything isn't so simple. So let's all try to work on this week as Shavuos approaches. It's a great time. And if you have any questions, please feel free to message me, or if you want to get this class in an email.